Alright, now before we begin, I'm not just doing this just to bash on John Romero or any of the people working on Nightwork Studios. Game development is a very tricky thing and anything can happen. I'm just wondering how and why, or what and why I should say, happened to this game essentially. But yeah, I don't mean any disrespect or anything like that to John Romero himself or the team behind this game, just to be clear on that before we begin. If you know about Blackrooms, I'm assuming you already know who John Romero is. I don't think I really have to specify who if you know about this game. If you do, just Google search him up. It's pretty easy to find information on him. This is a timeline of events for the game Blackroom. Blackroom is announced on April 25th, 2016 by Romero himself on his own channel. He states that Adrian Carmack is working on it as well, harkens back to classic shooter gameplay, announcement video shows mostly concept art, claims it's gonna have exploration, speed, intense weaponized combat, claims it will be fast moving, circle strafing enemies, and rocket jumping. The video talks about many other cool features the game is supposedly gonna have. On April 25th, the Kickstarter is launched and donations start coming in. Romero hosts a live stream for it where he and Adrian Carmack talk about their plans for the game, as well as watch the Kickstarter progress. The next day, Romero posted a video on his channel of Randy Pitchford, from the CEO of Gearbox, talking about Blackroom and the Kickstarter campaign, as well as John Romero's legacy. A few days later, the Kickstarter was cancelled. It reached $131,052 out of $700,000. So why was it pulled and never brought back? Well, obviously it was pulled due to lack of funding. That $131,000 is nowhere near the amount of money they would have needed. Multiple sources claim that John was planning on reattempting and reopening the campaign in the future. Supposedly, this would have happened when they had a playable demo. The Kickstarter campaign then pretty much only consisted of the official announcement video. However, the team behind the game, Nightwork Games, was posting consistent updates for the small time the project was up. In these updates, they focus on things like some of the weapons you'll see in the game, as well as the game's overall story. One update features an interview with Cliff Basinski, Gears of War, Lawbreakers, and supposedly in that interview, he talks about how John Romero influenced his own game design. It has since been taken down. The updates go over some more interviews as well as the platforms they're planning to release the game on, but one major thing that they showed was the Kickstarter's achievement goals. These were achievements that Nightwork Games was hoping the community would achieve over the course of the actual campaign. These were all various social media goals, but also involved other things such as artwork and cosplay. At this point in the video, I was going to talk about how Nightwork Games apparently stated they're working on a demo in these updates. However, I can't find anything on that, so yeah, I guess I just lied. The only post that talks about a demo is the last one, saying they were going to come back when they had a demo being made, or a demo already finished, but they never said they were working on one in the previous updates. At least I can't find anything on that. I think the main two reasons why Blackroom never reached this goal is A, the backers were just not all that confident in what they were backing, as again, we had a lot of things but never any actual gameplay. And that is really what's going to drive in a lot of attention to a game like this. They just didn't have enough content to show to ensure everyone that this was going to be a worthy investment. B, my second point is the overall project just didn't have that much attention in general. As of now, the Blackroom announcement video released 6 years ago sits at 204k views, which is a ton, don't get me wrong, but in terms of actual game announcements, it's not that much, especially coming from John Romero of all people, who, you know, is kind of the grandfather of all FPS games. The only proper announcement was the one coming directly from him. The only other major media outlet to cover Blackrooms was IGN, and even then it was only their opinion about the whole project, not an actual trailer or announcement or anything. That's actually also wrong. IGN did release an announcement video on IGN News. However, it did not garner that much attention. I mean, it has 6k views, that's a lot, and also not a lot, depending on how you look at it. And it's just from IGN News, not from actual IGN, so despite the fact there's a second video on it, it didn't garner that much attention still. In the updates, there is an endorsements and press section in one of the updates, and in that section they talk about how a lot of people have made articles talking about Blackroom. However, just because there's a lot of articles about it still doesn't mean a lot of people knew about it. At the end of the day, where you're going to want your main amount of views from is from YouTube. That's where the most people are going to be checking this stuff on the basic web. At the end of the day, even if there is a lot of articles on Blackroom, they only got 200,000 views on the official announcement video, which still, again, is not a lot. I think the best way to state this project was to basically say it was stuck in a loop. It would not have garnered enough money or attention without a proper trailer or demo. However, Nightwork Games needed money and attention to make said demo or trailer. However, without said demo or trailer, not enough people wanted to put money in. They needed a more major investor, someone willing to put in a lot of money right away. If they initially started out with an announcement as well as a proper game demo, showed that to the public, and then started the Kickstarter campaign, this would have been a much better story. Based on the initial amount of money donated compared to the amount of people who actually viewed the announcement video, this is still a better turnout than most would have expected. However, the ultimate lack of content left those backers without much confidence, causing them to donate less money than they normally would have, or only donate once and not again. Okay, once again, I have to go back on what I said. Take that last bit there with a grain of salt, because I actually did the math. I did $131,052 divided by 2,287 backers. That's an average of $57 per backer. Again, that's an average, so again, it fluctuates, but that's actually kind of a lot of money, honestly, for a donation, so maybe they were confident, actually. Again, these amounts can fluctuate per person, so maybe one person only donated $50, and one person donated like 60 or 65, so take that as you will, but when you actually put the math together, they did kind of leave a lot of money. However, at the end of the day, though, it still didn't get more backers just due to a lack of content. Even if they donated a lot, it still wasn't enough. The lack of content also caused the already existing backers to not share the project as much, which overall brings in even less investment. In terms of attention, a post in the r/Doom subreddit asks, whatever happened to John Romero's Blackroom? There's like nothing about it on the internet, not even people asking if it's cancelled. And yeah, that's pretty true. You don't really have to do too much digging on YouTube to see that there really is just an overall lack of coverage on this game. It genuinely had me surprised. If you look at the official Blackroom page on YouTube, there are more videos there related to the backrooms that have just been misspelled than actual Blackroom content. No one knew what they were missing, so no one felt they're missing out on anything. And it's the same situation 6 years later. Now, according to Wikipedia, it is stated that in a November 23rd, 2019 interview, Romero claimed he was still working on Blackroom. However, that was almost 3 years ago, and I think it's safe to say we won't be hearing about this project again. So, to restate and put it broadly, Blackroom was cancelled due to just a flat-out lack of funding. They needed money, and to get that money, they would have needed a trailer or a demo, but to make that trailer or demo, they would have needed more money. So yeah, an overall lack of funding killed this game. On a lighter note, while researching for this video, I learned that John Romero has officially announced he's in fact working on a new game. On a tweet posted not that long ago, he states, "Exciting news, I'm working on a new FPS and we're hiring. Visit romerogames.com and check out our careers page." According to this article on PcMag.com, link in description, they claim that on his website it states that the team at Romero Games includes people who worked on other franchises such as Far Cry, Watch Dogs, Crysis, and Tom Clancy's Division 1 and 2. So could this be Blackroom? God no, I highly doubt it. Look at the developer list. I'm sure these developers are all great at what they do. However, these games, as well as their genres, are completely different from what Romero had in mind for Blackroom. Blackroom was most likely going to be more Doom-inspired, where this new game he's working on appears to be a much more open game. I mean, that's what all these games have in common. They're either open world or linear, but still have huge levels. I honestly think it's going to be a dinosaur game, due to, again, the companies involved, and also the art looks like a dinosaur claw. Not to mention, when you factor in Crysis and Far Cry developers, it just feels more dinosaur-related, especially if talking about Far Cry 1. Also, there's just been a sort of surge in dinosaur FPS games, like Compound Fracture for a good example.